I love the industry. I love waking up every day feeling really great about the work that I'm doing. You want to get to a point where your work is no longer needed. Never doubt the value of the skills that you have. They are all so valuable in the nonprofit world. I'm Margot Gould, and currently I've been at a global environmental organization for just under a year, and I am the head of US development. So I focus on all of our regional fundraising, our partnerships, and our strategic alignments here in the US. My daily duties change all the time. It kind of depends on the season. Fundraising is very specifically seasonal, which I don't think many people recognize. So on a day-to-day basis, I kind of spread my efforts out across writing grants, doing grant reporting, doing a lot of prospecting and researching on support and really cultivating strategic partnerships across all of those major sectors, and trying to make sure that I'm aligning our programmatic mission and cause with funding opportunities so that we can kind of have the biggest impact and affect the biggest change in environmental climate action. I spend a lot of the time in the morning on calls with our London counterparts in the UK because of the time difference. So in the morning, they're kind of ending their day and we're starting up. So it's a really great opportunity for us to have meetings across our global programs and across our global teams and really be able to plan for and execute on more of our global strategy. In the afternoons, I spend a significant amount of my time doing all of the kind of internal work that we have going on. I do a lot of strategic thinking in the afternoon and working amongst my team. I spend a lot of time face-to-face with all of our different supporters or constituents or partners in some way, really just talking about how each of us are kind of working and aligning to meet this big goal and what we can continue to do together. I love the industry. I love waking up every day feeling really great about the work that I'm doing. In addition to really liking the work itself, for me, it's a huge value add to feel like my work is contributing beneficially to society and making an impact on the communities around me. I like making a difference, I guess. Right now, we're doing a lot of advocacy and infrastructure build out in some developing nations on renewable energy transitions and integrating a lot of these renewable electricity programs and technology to be able to allow for a cleaner transition into renewable energies. Every day is pretty inspiring. I work with incredibly smart and passionate and driven people. And that's, I think, a lot of the reason that people get into nonprofit work is because there's a very clear mission and a very clear cause, and you're really in there for the passion that you have for that end goal. We kind of make a joke in development and fundraising that you're every single day trying to put yourself out of business. You want to get to a point where your work is no longer needed. I don't love as much the kind of database systemic, data input into all of our systems, but they're so important because you've solved these issues that exist, because it really helps us to understand how we can focus our time and our energies and our efforts. But it's not my favorite part, but I appreciate it. I think that what I found maybe not surprising, but really so invigorating was this dynamic of having people from every single background together working for this one cause. And, any number of causes, but in any singular organization for one cause. And I think that it's amazing to be in a room and on a team with people who come from such diverse experiences and such diverse educational paths or professional paths, all coming together to execute on this mission. I don't always think that you get that type of exposure in different types of industries, because oftentimes you're maybe working with one kind of micro team. I I think that there's a kind of unlimited skill set that could be valuable in my industry and in kind of my career. So I would say the kind of number one thing is really passion and having a drive and a kind of understanding why it is that you're there. So pursuing something or finding the root of your passion is probably one of the best ways to translate everything that you have learned into the work that we're doing. There are some amazing opportunities in strategic communications, which can be incredibly valuable, but just as valuable can be a deep understanding of data analytics and how does that translate into the general population, or perhaps applied psychology and how do people think and how do they work. Science, certainly, some of this technical work can be really valuable. My very first step is don't always be deterred by the requirements that are laid out before you, because like I said, being passionate and willing to learn and willing to work hard is often as valuable as some of the experience that you might have. Internships are a great way to get your foot in the door, and especially in nonprofit work, we're always seeking out opportunities to have more resources available to us because the resources are so limited. So when somebody comes in and they are excited and they're interested in the work, that is a huge selling point. We're happy to make a space for you. Another piece of advice I would say is that maybe at the beginning, don't be too idealistic about the work that you are going to do. Yeah, actually I do remember some of them. So, some of them were, of course, a bit more logical, like what do you know about our cause? What do you know about us? What do you know about this position and what we're looking for? I think recognition of that why and the understanding of the why does this work get done can be really important. I don't want to say unlimited to make it seem like it goes forever, because there are, of course, kind of limits to anything, but you're really able to make as much out of this career as you want to. And I think that's all rooted in where it is that you want to go and finding throughout your process what parts of it you love the most. So perhaps you start off in the nonprofit world and you're very interested in the programmatic side. It wasn't that I set out to go into either nonprofit work or development fundraising work. I kind of found myself in there by realizing what portions of the work I was doing I was really excited about. And that was what my path looked like, but I think everybody's path could look quite different. And I think you really have so much opportunity to build on that path. Very common. My executive director was in finance for many, many years, ended up building out a bit of a corporate sustainability program, and then wanted to switch more into the nonprofit world. Like I said, I started in clinical work in psychology, and then recognized that there were components of the work that I loved, but also that overlap into what I didn't recognize then was development and fundraising, which is kind of how I found myself there. I think that most organizations would be incredibly grateful to have a diverse array of educational experience, of professional experience, of social experience as part of their organization. It really makes you stronger to have all different perspectives joined together to make an impact in the cause. In the structure of a nonprofit, you kind of cover a lot of bases. You could just as easily be financial manager. You could be the kind of fiscal administrator of the organization. So if you're interested in that type of work, there's a spot for you. If you're interested in more business administration, there's a spot for you. If you're interested in operations or if you're interested in HR, there's absolutely a spot for you as well. The nonprofit world is kind of a microcosm that pulls together a bit of any work that you might want to do. So I think that you could, if you were really interested in it, you could definitely find a space in any of the kind of micro work that you mentioned. I guess as the economy is doing better and people are able to see those results, they invest more into social impact. And so that can have an effect on it. Certainly the federal government or even the local governments can have a pretty significant effect on how nonprofits are doing as an industry. Policy and various types of tax benefits, etc., can really impact how people give. I don't believe there's going to be a place where there won't be social impact investing or there won't be philanthropic investing in the US. Like I said, it keeps going up every year. The report should come out in the next couple of months to see what philanthropic investing was for 2018, and I'm really looking forward to see what it is because it's been growing pretty precipitously over the past few years. There was a board member, the chair of the board at one of the organizations I worked for. I just can't speak more highly to the amount that I learned from her. She was, even when I was there, was in her 80s, and she had more passion and drive and energy than anyone I had ever met, and just spent relentless hours advocating for the work that we were doing and teaching me about the work that we were doing, and teaching me about fundraising and development and connecting me with all different mentors, and also being so willing to listen to my ideas and to hear what I had to say and to value what I might bring to the table that could be different from her. And I think of her so gratefully and appreciatively almost every single day of my career. I think having that type of support around you is amazing. It wasn't that I knew at this point that I wanted to work for a nonprofit as my career. My dad was part of this amazing organization. Every single year they got together professionals from all different industries, and they got together contractors and builders, and they raised money throughout the year to be able to select families in the Columbus area where they would go in and they would entirely redo their homes and create safe and comfortable and significantly better living environments for these families that were worthy and applied into the program. Because I was quite young when we started doing this, kind of 7 to my mid-teens. I just remember this feeling of, wow, I've really been able to make a difference. We all felt important in our own work. We all felt like our work was meaningful, and we were all able to do something for those around us, because inevitably at some point we're going to need something done for us. I think to keep that community mind always in the back of your head was just something that I knew from a very young age was going to have to be a part of my path in life. I think I wish I knew that it was a great profession. I'm able to make a really great life for myself. I'm able to feel fulfilled every day. I'm able to harness this passion that I feel in an everyday life within my career, which is incredibly rewarding. I'm able to be in a career that I can see myself continuing in for as long as I might like to. I think that I don't see any reason that I would have to leave this career path, that I would hit a plateau. My family really raised me to be authentic and to be kind. And so I would say that those two underlying messages in any different forms are something I've always kept in mind. I guess we're all trying to solve world problems, but I think that there's just a great opportunity for us to be more mindful of the broader communities that we're in, and to spend a bit more time and energies being compassionate towards those around us, and recognizing that we all have experiences that are different but lend to the vibrancy of the communities that we're in. So I think just a little bit more compassion and a little bit more love for the communities around us would be amazing.
What's your favorite book or movie?
I'm an avid reader. I recently read Homegoing by Yagi, and it was fantastic. Although I want to caveat this by saying it's very hard to pick one book that I love.
What makes you sad?
Hate. Just to see people being pitted against one another is heartbreaking, and animal cruelty really gets me too.
What makes you happy?
My family, my dog, and just seeing other people happy.
You should get into nonprofits if you are...
You should get into nonprofits if you're passionate and if you are driven to make a change in the world. And I think that's what it comes down to in the end.
You should not get into nonprofit if you are...
apathetic. I would say that if you're interested in getting in this career, to pursue it relentlessly, to never doubt the value of the skills that you have. They are all so valuable in the nonprofit world, and what makes the nonprofit world so vibrant is bringing together everyone of all different backgrounds and all different experiences and all different levels together, and to share in the kind of mutual excitement that you have to solve a problem in some way. So don't give up. You're so important.